thing.
E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles! Are we live? All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, bring it on in for a special countdown to payout. We are live at the Penn Club in Conshohocken. My name is Sean Brace. Representing the squad from the Gambler Gang, we are all here. We got Mark Henry Jr. and Roy Burton with us. Big round of applause. So many folks to name over here to thank. We're going to get into a lot of that. Of course, we're raising money for the Children's Specialized Hospital in New Jersey. Shout out to Mike Powers and his team. I did an unbelievable event with them a couple weeks ago. We'll talk more about that in a little bit as well. It's NFL Sunday. We got a lot to talk about as far as the business that's happening on the field. But before we jump into that quickly, 30 seconds each, I gotta ask a question, college football related. Are you anti putting the flag in your opponent's logo if you win on their field, or are you pro put the flag in the middle of the field?
Love it. Go ahead.
Roy Burton?
I will go. If you cannot stop a team from scoring on you and dominating, putting their will on you for 4 quarters, they can do whatever they want.
That's it?
They own it. They own your field. They own you.
But you can fight back, though. Are you okay with that?
No, because, again, you didn't fight for 4 quarters. Why are you going to fight when they put the flag down if you didn't fight for 4 quarters? Everybody who had a problem with the flag, I got a problem with you.
All right.
Flags belong in college football. I love it.
Mark Henry Jr.?
I love the flag plant, but I also love fighting back. I think both is fair.
No. You got to fight back before this.
No.
You had 3 hours to fight back.
I don't disagree with that at all.
Yeah.
But if it's a rivalry, you're going to see those guys for, the next couple of years. I don't mind fighting back and defending the home turf. Everybody got a little crazy and self-righteous about it a little bit on Twitter.
As usual.
I would say, there wasn't that going on when North Carolina and NC State fought.
That was good.
Everybody just celebrated and said, what a cool fight. With Michigan and Ohio State, we all got weird about it on Twitter.
Mace happened.
That's true.
Yeah,
Players got sprayed with mace. That was not good. All right. Once again, folks, rolling out the red carpet for us is the folks over here at the Penn Club. Check them out online at pc2conchi.com. That's PC2conchi.com. Look, on the socials, we're live. We're sharing a lot of videos so you could see exactly what's taking place behind us. But for right here, right now, we got 3 unbelievable, beautiful, huge bays for you to practice your indoor golf game, right? Obviously, it's cold out there. Wow. Yeah, I got the elf on the shelf for the first time in my life.
Oh, yeah, man.
It is December 1. Yeah. I got the elf melody hanging in my house right now. I don't know what to do with it. My wife does. Anyways, so now is the time to improve your golf game.
Yep.
Right here at the Penn Club in Conchi. They roll out the red carpet for you as well. Take care of your own right here as far as BYOB. Unbelievable facility. TVs all over the place. Obviously, the magic is over here with the 3 golf bays, and it's private, so only a certain amount of members can join, and that's the best part. Obviously, that's going to open the door for as much playing time as you want. Mm-hmm. Your schedule, you make the call. Once again, check them out online at PC2conchi.com. All right. Let's get into the games, boys.
Let's do it.
We will talk a little bit about what's taking place right here, right now on NFL Sunday. But I want to open up with the Eagles and the Ravens, and I want to bring it back to that loss against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and where we're at right here, right now. And I'm not saying it's a mea culpa, but it's a little bit of both. I never thought this would be obtainable. Right. The Eagles have the number 1 defense in the NFL after Week 12. How did we get here? Roy, I'm going to start with you.
Sure.
Because I thought it was a lost cause, from the start of the season. Of course, you can't flip a switch in the NFL. But how do we get to this point after that result against the Tampa Bay Bucs where they couldn't stop anybody? And now this is the number 1 defense in the NFL. Oh, by the way, the number 1 offense in the NFL, the Baltimore Ravens.
Since the bye, they're giving up 12.3 points per game on offense. Since the bye. It's been an unbelievable run by this Eagles team, but I think it all comes back to this coaching staff taking their cue from the players. And I think it kind of goes back to, I know you guys, you probably heard the story about Lane Johnson going into Nick Sirianni's office and says, look, we got to start running the ball. I think this coaching staff, both on offense and defense, figured out what this team does best and tailored their game plan accordingly for both the offense and the defense. And we're seeing it pay dividends on both sides of the ball.
Mark?
Yeah, I think there's Roy's obviously absolutely right there. I think Cooper DeJean, we talked about it this week. I think him getting inserted into the lineup is massive. When you look at, that was the spot that was getting picked apart early on this year. DeJean stepped in, and he's been one of the best players, at that spot in the league in terms of covering that position.
What was he doing? What's he doing different than what, Avonte Maddox?
Yeah, I mean, Avonte was getting burnt.
He's better. Yeah.
He's a lot more athletic at this point.
Simply better coverage, staying in front of his guy, making a tackle.
Tackling's a huge part of it as well. But it seems like a lot of it's reputation, too. Once you step up and you don't get burnt the first couple times people go at you, Avonte Maddox is getting burnt. That means they're going to go at you every time and design routes to go after you. Once they see that Cooper DeJean's not the guy to go after, you kind of stop designing those routes and designing that way to go after him. You try to go after other guys on the defense. But that's a huge part of it. The pass rush stepping up is a huge part of it. Vic Fangio, the defense, over his years, it does seem like the defenses get better throughout the year. And that's something that a lot of good defensive coordinators have happen, especially when they're working with new players there. Jalen Carter's obviously stepped up as well. But not to, flip it around, a lot about how good the defense has been is the offense not putting them in bad positions.
Exactly.
And the offense getting up and allowing them to maybe take some risks with blitzing, take some risks with coverages that you wouldn't take if you're down in some games in the second half. I know we get down early in the first quarter a lot, but in the second half, the offense has put them in great spots, not turning the ball over, especially in the 7-game win streak as well. So a lot of it, we were talking this week, the secondary and the defensive line work together. The defensive line gets a pass rush, helps the secondary. Secondary covers guys, helps the pass rush. Same thing goes with offense and defense.
Mm-hmm. Now, when we talk about both of these teams today, the Ravens and the Eagles, you have to focus on the running back. Back over to the offense, as you said, Mark. And it's crazy to see. Is it, though? At the end of the day, we're talking about two premier backs at that, no matter what team they play for, and both were with just one team since they signed with their teams this year. But you're talking about possibly two of the best free agent signings this offseason with Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley. Is this the rebirth of the running back position, or is this just more, Mark, the focus needs to be on the talent? Let's slow things down and let's just talk about the players itself here.
Well, I think it's about we've clearly seen that elite tier of running backs was underpaid. I mean, Saquon, it was like 187 players are being paid more than him this year. That's not correct. He's being paid like an average starting left guard that's up for after their rookie deal. Not even like a great one, like a PFF average starting interior offensive lineman. And that's obviously how he saw it and said, the market overcorrected. Are running backs replaceable? Yeah, the middle tier and the non-top 10 guys, the DeAndre Swifts of the world, the Miles Sanders of the world. Yep. We were just talking about Tampa Bay, the Rashad Whites of the world. Those guys that maybe they're RB 16 in fantasy, you could replace those guys pretty easily. Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry, those are guys who are just ceiling raisers and floor raisers of an offense. As we saw when they were in New York and Tennessee, and now we're seeing the ceiling being raised in Baltimore and Philadelphia.
Roy? Yeah, I think it's probably going to be some kind of overcorrection the other way this offseason because, again, like three of the better, free agent acquisitions, like you said, Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs. We're going to get whoever I don't know what the running back classes looks like this year, but I know there's going to be a lot of guys who are going to get paid who aren't going to give you Saquon Barkley, Josh Jacobs production because, again, like the market is going to overcorrect itself. These guys are uber talented players, and again, we need to treat them as such because, again, they're just fantastic running backs.
All right, once again, we're live here at the Penn Club, having a good old time on a Saturday afternoon. We got Sunday afternoon. Sorry, a lot of live action right here, right now. You know why? Because I've been off for the week. It's all running together.
After Thanksgiving,
there's my excuse.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all running together. All right, Roy Burton, Mark Henry Jr. joining me right here to jump things off. A pregame show, getting you ready for the Eagles and Ravens. DraftKings Sportsbook Birds 3-point dogs on the road in Baltimore. Roy, back over to you again.
Yes, sir.
Lamar Jackson, I believe, 23-1 versus NFC teams. Does that thing mean anything? Does that stat mean anything to you? Number one. Number two is, who's the most important piece on the defensive side of the ball to slowing down Lamar Jackson this afternoon?
So Lamar Jackson was he 23-1 against
23-1.
I mean, that's impressive, but Lamar Jackson kind of beats everybody.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know how impressive it is. But that being said, Lamar Jackson, again, a fantastic player. On pace maybe to win his third MVP. I know you have issues, with that. Maybe
I'm a realist though.
I know you have a ticket
If
on.
you had to give it away now, though, are you going Josh or Lamar?
So again, Mark Henry and I are in lockstep on this. We are Team Lamar.
Lamar.
We are Team Lamar. But
we are part of the Lamar me.
Yeah.
Oh, I like
Lamar me. I like that. But but I understand the argument for Josh Allen. I can make an argument for Josh Allen. That's fine.
He doesn't have much to work with.
That's the argument that because Mark and I had this conversation offline. Why is Josh Allen the number one guy? And it's like, coming into the season, the only receiver who caught passes from him was Khalil Shakir.
Yeah.
Right on the Bills. Obviously, you lose, a superstar, well, not superstar, a star in Stephon Diggs. It's a totally different kind of, set of supporting cast for him in Buffalo. So I understand that. And also Lamar fatigue. Lamar already has two.
Oh, absolutely.
So it's probably a similar thing would probably happen in the NBA with Nikola Jokic. If he wasn't having an unbelievable statistical season, it would probably be the same thing in the NBA. So I understand the reasoning behind the Josh Allen love, but I think Lamar's the MVP right now.
All right.
You mentioned the Lamar 23-1?
23-1 versus NFC.
He's 66-23 in his career.
Against everybody.
Against everybody.
That's
he
pretty
wins
good.
most of the games he plays. And I'm biased. I have a Lamar 18-1 ticket that I gave out in August, and I'm holding on to it. I'm of the mindset I've accepted Josh Allen's going to win the award. You could make a really strong case last year. Josh Allen should have won over Lamar last year. The argument was interceptions, that Josh Allen was like quadruple the amount of interceptions, but he did pretty much everything else better, won a few less games, and Lamar won it. I think there's a chance that that's exactly what happens this year, where the Ravens win 11 games and maybe Baltimore wins 14. Right now, Lamar's on pace for 4,325 passing yards would be a career high, where he has 2 MVPs, 38 pass touchdowns, that'd be a career high, 4 interceptions, that'd be a career low in seasons that he played the full season, 850 rushing yards and 4 rushing touchdowns. That's about 400 more pass touchdowns or pass yards, 10 more pass touchdowns, half the interceptions, and double the amount of rush yards as Josh Allen's on pace for. If we're looking at it statistically, Lamar's the very clear MVP to me, even if we're looking at it from a value standpoint. We just talked about off air the Baltimore defense and how they struggled, especially in the early part of the season. I know that maybe he has a little bit better of a supporting cast than Josh Allen. The Buffalo defense is much better than the Baltimore defense.
That's agreed.
Which has helped Josh Allen have maybe a win and a half more. What are they, 9-2, and Baltimore's 8-4 right now? So, and the other part of that is, are we sure Khalil Shakir's that much worse than Zay Flowers? I'm not a big Zay Flowers.
I don't disagree.
No,
but again,
I agree. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
And then the Ravens added Deontay. The Bills also added Amari Cooper. I know Amari Cooper's missed a game or two. The Bills have Kincaid. We think the Ravens have a great tight end in Mark Andrews. He might be washed at this point, though. Like, he's like not a top 15 tight end, I think, in fantasy right now. No. So I don't know how good Baltimore's, obviously, of Derrick Henry. James Cook's nothing to sneeze at. James Cook's probably a top 10 running back. So I think they both have similar supporting cast, and Josh has a much better defense. Lamar has much better, numbers. People seem committed to not want to give Lamar Jackson the MVP, and I can't understand why. I watched the guy, and obviously we're going against him today. He's the enemy today. I think he's the most fun player to watch in sports.
Without a doubt.
I don't know why.
Sports,
I like that. I like that.
I'll have to think a little bit more on that, but in the NFL, it's hard to argue. He's incredible to watch, and when you throw out numbers consistently that he improves, this is his better year statistically versus the 2 that he already won the MVP, and then the record, as you just put out there, 23-1. Again, he is Karl Malone in the Michael Jordan saga,
Yeah.
That's what he is right now.
He wins one.
To Patrick Mahomes, and until he gets over to home.
On the
field. Well said. All right, look, we're going to go another 5 minutes, and I'm going to get some other boys over here from the Gambler Gang. Heading into today's game, night game, whatever, Baltimore, what's the first thing that your mind goes to from the Eagles' perspective? Whether it's on offense, owning the line of scrimmage. Continue with Saquon Barkley. Maybe Jalen needs to throw the ball more because of how bad the Baltimore Ravens secondary is. What's the first thing that went through your mind when we just led into this week? And of course, the hype should have been there, but it's a holiday week, so I think it took a little bit of a back seat.
Sure.
But we're talking about two of the best teams in the NFL. Could very well be the February 9th matchup
That's right.
in New Orleans. What's the first thing that went through your mind?
I actually think it's going to be a little lower scoring than people think. I wouldn't go with the over, and I know everyone's talking about the Baltimore defense. Last 2 weeks, Baltimore defense has really stepped up. After the first, they gave up 10 points to the Chargers. They really shored up after that. 2 weeks ago to Pittsburgh, they gave up 18. Some of that on fumbles, and they missed some kicks that gave up some great position on the field to Pittsburgh in that game. I actually think the Ravens defense stepped up. So to me, it's about those 1 or 2 big plays that you can make. And obviously, everybody's mind goes to A.J. Brown. Maybe it's Saquon potentially, obviously. Maybe it's Dallas Goedert. But I saw something on Twitter, a tweet from Joe Osborne. Good follow.
Great follow.
Gave out Jalen over 35.5 for his longest completion. He's done that in 6 of the last 7 games. Baltimore's also given up that. 6 of the last 7 games, they've given up a lot of big plays. Even in the last 2 weeks that they've shored up, they've given up a couple big plays. So I think it all comes down to A.J. Brown. I know that Saquon is the focus, and, he's the guy getting pushed for MVP. Part of why I think that bothers me is I think you look at what Jalen's done these last 7 weeks. I think if any other quarterback did that in the NFL, he'd be getting MVP buzz. And if you look at maybe who the most valuable guy on the team is, the team's 8-0 when A.J. Brown is in the lineup. And they average 31 points per game when A.J. Brown is in the lineup. Saquon was the one out there when the offense was sputtering a little bit against Atlanta and Tampa. The one we were missing was A.J. Brown, and I think he's maybe the key to all of it. And obviously, he's not going to pop up for 150, 200 yards. He's not going to get the 30 touches that Saquon gets, but it's about what he can do with those 6 to 8 touches to break the game open and to force the defense to have to go too high safety and to have to devote double teams to him.
Roy, to you to start it real quick, though, I just want to say, if I could give the MVP award to the offensive line, I would.
Oh, absolutely.
Like that number last week, 255 and then over 200 yards until he was touched.
Right.
Like, come on, man. That's
2 70-yard touchdown runs.
That's absurd.
Absurd.
That's kind of what I mean, though. Like, we have the best offensive line in the NFL. A.J. Brown is a top 3 wide receiver in the NFL. Jalen, in the last 7 games, he's 4th in EPA per play, 5th in pass success rate, 2nd in completion percentage of over expected, 18 touchdowns to 1 turnover in that span. I'd argue he's playing like a top 5 quarterback in the NFL right now. And we're pushing a running back to an MVP. Saquon's the best running back in the sport. But my argument is everybody on this team is stepping up and playing like some of the best players in the sport, which is why I kind of look to Lamar and Josh after we talked about the supporting cast.
It always comes down to the voters. We'll see how they view it. And a lot of football to be played. So nobody's giving out an award just now, but it's a fun debate in the Gambler Gang Slack chat. We have some electric conversation, we'll just say, about that with that one specific award, that and the Sixers. Putting the Sixers to the side, congratulations on the win last night.
That's right.
Roy Burton, the first thing that went through your mind getting ready for this matchup was what?
Just to kind of dovetail off Mark's point, with Devontae Smith being out, with the injury, I think it's going to be more, the more impetus on Jalen Hurts to kind of carry this team more than he has in the last, few weeks. Like, he's basically been, a game manager plus type quarterback, during this run. I think he's going to need to be a little bit more than that today because, again, without Devontae Smith, you're going to need to lean a little bit more on A.J. Brown, on Dallas Goedert, maybe on Jalen Hurts' legs a little bit more to kind of get you some offense because, again, we've talked about this Ravens run defense, 78 yards per game allowed by the Ravens run defense. So, again, Saquon Barkley's probably not going to give you that 200, 255-yard game again this week. So, again, you're going to have more of that burden placed on Jalen Hurts this week to kind of pull this team out of those tough, 3rd and long situations.
If they do go for 200 yards rushing, though, today, what does that mean?
I told somebody, I said, if the Eagles, barring the, getting blown out or whatever, I don't really, feel anything different about this team. If the Eagles pull out a pretty big victory, I am irrationally confident about this team going forward. If they beat the Ravens handily in Baltimore, the sky's the limit.
Book the flights?
Booking flights, booking hotels.
Flights.
You can always cancel hotels, so it's all good. I get credits for flights, so it's all good. You get credits for flights. So what was it, New Orleans, right? New Orleans this year?
Yeah.
Super Bowl? New Orleans is an amazing town.
Is that a hashtag?
Beef knows. New Orleans is amazing.
Amen to that. Book the flights.
Book the flights.
Book the flights.
Hey,
book the flights.
Hey,
book the hotels.
Penn Club, Eagles win today. Hashtag book the flights.
Hey!
G-L-E-S.
Eagles!
All right, Eagles are favored by, or excuse me, Eagles are 3-point dogs on the road in Baltimore. Your prediction?
Eagles, you got to take the Eagles. I think this might be the last chance we have until the Super Bowl to get the Eagles at plus money. And that's, me thinking Detroit might go down in the second round because I think they're a little bit fraudulent. But Detroit doesn't scare me at all. I'm
Ooh.
irrationally confident before the game's played. And if they win, it's just going to add to that, to be honest. This is a tough game. This is the toughest game they have left on the schedule,
Yep.
including the playoffs, in my opinion. I think Baltimore scares me, especially in Baltimore. Going to Detroit in a dome does to me.
Ooh,
So
I like that.
I think Baltimore's the better team. It hasn't played out record-wise. We'll see. I'm more scared of Baltimore than I am Detroit. This is the toughest game of the year, and I'm still confident. You put a plus money in front of Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni. You look at their record together. Give me the Birds.
All right. That's one down. Roy Burton.
I like it. I was in my mind. I want to say the Ravens because again the Devontae Smith injury kind of concerns me. Darius Slay not being out there concerns me. But again, it's not too long. It's only been a couple of weeks. We saw this Ravens team lose to the Browns. Right. The Eagles have been playing really good football over this last month and a half. And I haven't seen any reason to doubt them tonight. So give me the Eagles. Give me the Eagles and the points.
All right. This is definitely going to be one of those ESPN graphics on the bottom where we're all taking the Birds.
Everybody has the Eagles helmet.
Mark Henry Jr., Roy Burton, thank you for hanging out with us this afternoon. Give it up one time to the two boys from the Gambler Gang hanging out. We're going to get Harry Mays going to join me in just a second. Beef. Ryan Beef Coyle, get up here. Come here. I want to have you join me. Once again, thank you, boys. I appreciate it. I'm going to get those guys in here. You are seeing some QR codes around here at the Penn Club. Please feel free to donate to the Children's Specialized Hospital Foundation. We're trying to raise some money up. Tuesday, we have a pot-a-thon featuring some special guests and on-air talent from iHeartRadio. Once again, Buffalo Wild Wings. We got Court Police. Harry Mays knows a thing or two about Court Police. Great sponsor from back in the day. Great pizza as well. Beef, get in the middle. You slide on in here. I also want to give a shout out to the No-Fly Zone bus. The boys are in attendance.
For the Eagles.
The No-Fly Zone on Instagram. Make sure you check those guys out. That's NOPHLY Zone. The bus is tremendous. And Austin and his boys, they cruise around from festival to festival, parking lot to parking lot, party to party, and sometimes they end up at the Penn Club here in Conshohocken as well, which is always a good thing here on a Sunday. All right, great stuff there. We're keeping the party moving. Joining me right here, another member, well, two members from the Gambler Gang. Damn it, let's go. We got Ryan Beef Coyle, and ladies and gentlemen, we're not here without the great Harry Mays. Give it up one time. Harry, how we doing, sir?
I'm doing great, man.
Obviously, swinging and dinging.
Yeah.
The podcast on all things golf for us here on the Gambler at Moose and the great Danielle Matthews. You guys obviously struck up the relationship, the partnership, and thank you very much. This is an unbelievable place, Harry.
You've been working on the game?
I dabbled.
Yeah, you did?
Pebble Beach, hole 7.
Oh, nice. Par 3?
Didn't hit the green once.
No? It's like 100 yards, Brace. I mean,
a lot of
second
wins.
on the leaderboard.
A lot of wins. Yeah,
this
guy, Harry, he's like, no, I don't play. He's, I think, the front runner right now for closest to Penn.
To the Penn?
Second.
Wow.
Charlie, some guy named Charlie.
Charlie, hey, Charlie. All right. Yeah, this is great, Harry, and obviously, you are local in the area, member 1912 still?
1912. Yeah, and Lulu.
So now, and Lulu,
Yeah.
I see you on TV all the time. I saw you on TV on Wednesday night at PJ's
when you
up
were
there.
at PJ's. Yeah.
Yes.
I got a couple texts about that.
Yeah,
one.
man.
Yeah.
Late night.
That's the Inside Golf Show with Harry Donahue.
Correct.
That's his show.
Correct.
Yeah.
And it's a great look.
Right.
It's a great viewing show. Obviously, check it out on NBC Sports Philadelphia. We are here at the Penn Club, obviously getting everybody ready for the Eagles and the Ravens, the Battle of the Birds. Harry, let's talk a little bit about the Eagles for a second. I want to focus on the defense just if we could here. I am shocked at the turnaround that this defense has taken since that beatdown against the Tampa Bay Bucks. This team is now the #1 defense in the NFL. I know that excites you.
Oh, yeah. Well, I love the play from the defensive tackle. I mean, he's an absolute monster. And, he takes over games. He wrecks the game, which is what you need from that position. I'm worried about Brandon Graham being gone for the rest of the year. I think that I don't really like the depth there. I know they picked up that guy that the Commanders drafted a couple years ago from Clemson, but he was a 5th-round pick, and Dallas saw fit to cut him. So that worries me. I don't know how much that guy's going to bring, but the defensive secondary, the 2 rookies that they drafted are just lights out. I mean, you got to really credit Howie Roseman. He's finally figured it out. You know, you watch the SEC on Saturday afternoon and you take notes, and then on draft day you just pick the first guy available from Georgia, Alabama, you name it, and that's how you build your football team.
That's normally
So he's figured it out.
Yeah, I'm right there with you on that one. But got to give it up about Quinyon.
Oh yeah,
that was a hell of a pick.
Well, he's out of the MAC, so Howie's obviously watching Tuesday and Wednesday night football too, because that's when those MAC teams play.
Yeah. Look, the defense is number one. Obviously, you just pointed out with Brandon Graham being out, going up against the number one offense with Lamar Jackson is concerning. We'll see what happens there. And oh, by the way, there needs to be something said, not to us. We know this, but for the people that maybe might be missing this just a little bit. Brandon Graham is such a leader inside that locker room, and it's just I don't know if they're going to be able to replace him. Who's going to step up? But it's a long season, and you need those guys inside the locker room.
And I know some people say, well, he's still going to be in the locker room. It's tough to lead when you're not playing. When you're not suiting up, you're not really there in the NFL.
I know he said he was still going to be talking trash from the sideline. But how much trash will he be talking in a sling? That's the thing. Beef. Offensively, Saquon Barkley had an unbelievable day last week against the Rams in L.A. 255 rushing, over 300 yards from scrimmage. Just an incredible day from Saquon Barkley. Eagles fans that expect that week in, week out, what do you say? For today, this performance against the Ravens, should we expect, just excellence again from Saquon Barkley and what he showed us last week?
Well, I think when you look at today, the Ravens pass defense is where you can beat them. 31st against the pass, 2nd against the rush. So could be a heavier day in the passing game. But when you look, Devontae's out as well. Everything's going to be focused towards AJ. So it might be a few other guys like Dallas Goedert that have to step up today. They're still going to, I think, live and die with the run, best on best, see what you got in that regard. But with A.J. Brown against the 31st ranked passing defense, I think he's in for a big day, and he's going to see a chunk of targets. It's funny just how narratives change week to week in the NFL, because I could see a big day from Jalen through the air today, and then it can go right to Eagles are sitting there at 10-2, potentially the best team in the NFC. Is he right there in the MVP conversation?
Now, one of the things that really stood out to me when we hit this stretch in December was coaching. And I'm not trying to be the negative Nancy here. I'm not. But I can't tell you that like I've been a Nick Sirianni fan from the beginning. He's proved me wrong. And then he's had his stretches where I was right. And it's okay to question a head coach. Not everybody's going to be perfect. But in these games, against Mike Tomlin, against the Steelers, against Harbaugh today, against the Baltimore Ravens, I feel like these are those games that we're almost going to, weigh and see what type of coach Nick Sirianni is. There are plenty of people out there, Harry, that say this Eagles team is going to win no matter what. Do you agree with that? Is this a moment where you'd like to see a little bit more from Nick Sirianni? Am I making too much about the head coach? Your thoughts on that?
I think he just needs to stay out of the way. I mean, seriously, I think the football team, they know what to do. The assistant coaches, the coordinators are coaching great. Sirianni, the last couple of weeks, though, hasn't been crazy with chasing points, with the 2-point conversions and going forward on 4th and 4 from, the 35 and all that kind of nonsense. He's just got to stay away from that.
No, you're right.
Seriously.
You're right. Vic Fangio has the defense figured out.
He's done.
Leave him alone.
Job. Yeah.
Kellen Moore seems to be doing okay right now with the play call.
But it will be a big challenge though today without one of their best wide receivers. I'd like to see the quarterback take a few more with his legs today.
Yeah.
No,
and I feel like they showed us a little bit of that in that game against L.A. He was making some plays with his legs a little bit more. But it's damn if you do, damn if you don't, because there are plenty of people out there that are like, oh, I don't want to put Jalen in harm's way. It's like, man, this is NFL Sunday. These guys are going to get hit.
Yes.
Did you
see what happened to
Trevor
Lawrence today?
They're going to get hit.
Yeah. Well, that was a cheap shot.
It was.
That would have been targeting in college football.
Oh, God, yeah.
That kid
it's
would have been
just so fast.
Yeah.
Like, I hate to rip that dude from the Texans. I don't know who it was. He deserves to be ripped. It was bad. It was ugly. It was cheap. But it's just so fast, man. Like, here's Trevor Lawrence. He's a big dude. He's athletic.
6'5".
And if you don't get
But
ready.
he was giving himself up.
He
That's
did go
the
down.
thing.
Yeah, you can't hit him, and he went in with the forearm shiver. Beef coaching,
Yeah.
as far as weighing yourself out, because and this is the big picture for me is obviously regular season is one thing. Playoffs, you're going up against the best of the best, and I'm not trying to make Dan Campbell out to John Madden here, but he does have pretty good coaching staff around him. Seems like he's calling the right shots. Nick Sirianni, if they're going to advance in the playoffs, and this is somewhat of a playoff game. Good matchup here. He's got to be better. He has to be more consistent. Your thoughts on the coaching from Nick Sirianni right here, right now?
I mean, I'm a Sirianni stan. Like the results, the wins at the end of the day speak for himself. I agree. He does go a little bit over the top sometimes, and there could be a big spot where he does cost a team a game. But I think he's got large enough sample size that proves he wins. And like even guys like Jason Kelsey throughout this whole offseason, basically talking like Nick Sirianni's the best communicator and coach that I've been around. And for a guy like that to step up and say that, his game day stuff might be a little bit questionable, but for the week-to-week results,
He's got to be doing something right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. When we're not watching,
you could have someone else in there that is messing these things up with all the talent around them. And there's something that he does that gets through the team. It might just be behind closed doors. And whatever happened last year with the whole collapse happened. But for him to be able to, even after the shaky 2-2 start this year, to right the ship and to be 9-2, potentially going to 10-2 with a win over the Ravens today, he deserves the benefit of the doubt more than not, I think.
He does something behind the scenes, Harry, like you said.
Yeah.
And you saw the the social media team from the Eagles. They started releasing a little bit more behind the scenes.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's where he's good.
Yeah.
Like when he's giving a pep talk.
In the room, as they say in hockey.
In the room.
In the room. Yeah. But no, during that bye week, apparently it came out that, the offensive linemen had a meeting with him and they were like, we got to get back to being our identity is running the football.
Yep.
And, a lot of coaches might have said, what, this is my team. We're doing it my way. He did. He took himself out of it, took his ego out of it, and started playing towards his talent. And, I think he deserves credit for that.
Definitely does. As we discussed a little earlier, boys, Eagles 3-point dogs on the road. It looks like 50.5 on DraftKings Sportsbook. Harry, I know that you're going to be watching this game with great detail. You got a post-game show. Plug the post-game show, please.
Yeah, it's Locked On Sports Philadelphia's YouTube page. Me and Jason Mercedes,
nice
buddy from the old days.
Oh yeah,
the other station.
So and it's on your socials, right?
You
can find it there.
Everything's on there.
So immediately following, once the clock strikes 0,
exactly
catch Harry Mays
for 30 minutes only.
Oh, perfect.
It's a half hour and we're out. They don't want us to go any longer because I guess I'll say something stupid.
Well, and then you got to start taking calls. And who knows?
We don't want to do that.
No, what happens after that?
We don't want to do that.
All right, Beef, Harry, final prediction before we get you out of here, boys. Beef, I'll start with you first. Once again, Ravens are favored by 3 on DraftKings.
The one stat that's been in the back of my head all week is Lamar Jackson 23-1 against the NFC.
Unbelievable.
I don't know if that's coincidental or it's just because we don't see guys like this often. But I think from top to bottom, the Eagles are a better football team. You can maybe argue Lamar over Hurts, especially with the way that he's played this season. But I think today's another type of statement game, and the Eagles go down there and win. I'm going to go 27-24 Eagles.
Ooh, that's a good one. And a victory for the Birds, coming back up 95. Harry Mays?
I thought the Eagles would go 1-1 in these 2 road games between the Rams and the Ravens. Actually thought they would lose last week and win this game, but I got the Ravens today in a close one.
It's hard to argue.
Yeah.
This is a game that the Ravens should win. Should win.
Yeah.
They are Super
and with
Bowl
Pittsburgh
contender.
winning today too, they got to keep going, man.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh's legit, and they're on the schedule in 2 weeks?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. What?
Carolina.
Yeah. All right, get you out of here on this one. Beef, start with you. Yesterday, big day in rivalry, college football sports. Are you anti-planting the flag on the logo? Or are you pro-plant the flag on the logo? With the win, of course.
I love it. You have 60 minutes, especially when you're the home team, too. You're the home team. You have 60 minutes to defend your home field, and you choose the post-game scuffle for the flag plant to then stick up and be tough and have some beef up front. There's no doubt in my mind the away team has the right to do that, and it adds extra angst and hate to sports.
Can I fight back, though, if I'm on the losing team? I can't fight back?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. But the pepper spray was
that was over the top.
A little over the top.
Yeah, I don't think we needed pepper
Harry,
spray.
are you pro?
I am definitely pro flag planting. How about when Baker Mayfield did that a few years
My
ago?
man.
It always happens at Ohio State, dude. You never noticed this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He created it.
Yeah.
He was the first guy too, man. I love Baker.
Jason, or what's his name? Day has
Ryan Day.
Ryan Day has lost. Yeah, I'm thinking golf. Jason Day.
There you go.
Ryan Day's lost like what 5 games in the Big Ten, I think. 4 to Michigan
them
and
to
1 to
them.
Penn State, and he might get bounced if he doesn't win the national championship.
His
Think
overall
about that.
record is disgusting.
It's insane.
Yeah, and he's gonna get fired.
It's
yeah.
really insane. But yesterday was awesome.
He
wasn't
looked like he saw.
I was rooting for
ghosts.
Michigan
Yes.
the whole
Yeah.
day.
Oh, yeah.
That was awesome.
He knew if he lost that game,
Yeah.
they might fire him even if they do win a national championship.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, John Cooper went 2-10-1 against Michigan. He got 13 chances to play Michigan. There's no way Ryan Day sees that.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
All right, once again, Penn Club, give it up for the great Harry Mays and Ryan Beef Coyle. Fantastic job, boys. Harry, we'll check out that post-game show.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you very much. You guys are the best. I want to get the Sheffield Shuffler up here. Where's Chef at? Chef, come on up and join me if you wouldn't mind. And Lettuce, Nick McClay, get on up here. We call him Lettuce because he's got a great head of hair, as you can see. Oh, what's up, man? Once again, shout out to Harry Mays and Ryan Beef Coyle. We'll go 5 more minutes and we'll get the music going again. Once again, we have some amazing action right here. Did Jordan Addison score a touchdown yet?
No, not yet. Him or Nico.
Damn it. All right, might have been a bad pick by me. I apologize.
Maybe.
My guy
Never have a
Pete,
pick.
also known as the Great Sheffield Shuffler on Instagram, 90,000 followers.
I heard he's pretty hot too.
Dude,
It's pretty sexy.
how the hell do you get 90K? I
You
know
act like
how.
an idiot.
Your videos are good, dude.
act like
You've
an
been on
idiot.
fire. Give me some.
Thank you.
You've been on fire on it. Okay, plug the Instagram account.
Sheffield Shuffler.
Boom, that easy. And Lettuce, Nick McClay in the house.
I don't quite got the following that Chef over here has, but
But you got a better flow than
flow.
both of us,
Okay,
that's
okay,
for
we can
sure.
say that.
Sean on that ball
Yeah,
train.
damn right.
That ball train.
All right, we are broadcasting live from the Penn Club. Real quick, boys, if you wouldn't mind, Sunday live action. Texans over the Jags. No surprise there, 16-6. That game is well into the fourth quarter at this point in time. Chargers over the Falcons. Falcons had a bye week, thinking that they were going to figure it out a little bit here. But the Chargers, are we sleeping on the Chargers, McClay? Let me start with you.
I mean, we could be. Their defense is crazy. Their defense has been unbelievable the last couple of weeks. They're coming into Atlanta here, only holding them to 13 at the end of the game. I mean, you look at it, even with the injury they had with J.K. Dobbins and the receivers haven't been that much. Lat McConkey's been stepping up big. And Herbert, our boy over there, Beef, has the jersey on.
Yeah.
Herbert's been showing out.
Herbert has been showing out. Chef, Commanders up big time, 35-13. Jaden Daniels, the real damn deal.
Yeah, you know who's really smart is someone that drafted him in the 10th round. Who's that? Me. That's value, baby. Those rookie
CL.
quarterbacks.
Did you just plug your own fantasy
I
league?
did hard.
How many fantasy
100%.
teams do you have?
Yeah, just one.
Oh,
I
okay.
play one.
All right, I'll
I
respect
go,
it.
I go
That's
all in on just
respectable.
one. He had like 20-something points in the first half. He's been impressive.
35-13. Still, Birds got the upper hand on that one with the Thursday night victory. Was that
Yes,
Thursday?
sir,
Yeah, Thursday
yes.
night
You were
victory.
there.
Yeah, we were there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I think I was.
think I was.
Yeah. Cardinals, we're watching this game intensely right now because we need a Jordan Addison touchdown. That was courtesy of yours truly over here. 4:14 to go in the fourth quarter. Damn it, time is running out. Not good there. Let's keep it moving. Patriots and the Colts, nobody cares.
Nope.
24-17 there. Steelers lumping up the Bengals. A lot of love for Joe Burrow and the Bengals today. Steelers, real damn deal. Chef, do you think the Pittsburgh Steelers are a contender?
I think at this point you got to say yes, right? I mean, and their coaching brilliant. I mean, he just doesn't lose. Winning seasons consistently. But who isn't surprised though? You got to be surprised, right? Coming into the season, are you going to say that the Steelers are going to be where they are right now at the beginning of the season?
Yeah, no, you're right.
I don't think anybody would say where they're at.
No,
Oh, I
definitely not.
had him at 9-8 on the year. I had him at 9-8, and I can't wait. We were talking about it earlier with the gambler. Who's going to say after this, oh, the Bengals still have a path?
Oh,
Every single week.
every week.
Every week.
I can still see the Bengals making the playoffs.
I can still see it.
Somebody
In
said
what
last
world?
week, Joe Burrow MVP. I'm like, what are you smoking, dude?
Yeah, I want
They
some.
still have
Good
a path.
grief. All right, we're going to get into the Birds and the Ravens. Once again, 3-point spread, courtesy of DraftKings Sportsbook. Quickly, though, on the other two games that are going to have a 4 o'clock. McClay, I'll start with you. What do you have your eyes on? We got the Saints and the Rams. Rams on the road in the Dome, 4:05 p.m. start. Rams favored by 3. And then we got the Bucks and the Panthers. Bucks on the road, favored by 6.5, 4:05 start as well. Out of those two games, what do you have your eye on?
Both them, I'm looking at both the favorites. I like the Rams there to take care of business in New Orleans. I'm not like they got nothing in New Orleans. You know, they got nothing to go for. Rams are still fighting for something. I think Puka has a good game, 80+ receiving yards I got. And in Bucks Panthers, I think I like the favorite there. 6.5, I think you said it was. 6.
Correct.
I like that, and I like Bucky. We were talking about it earlier. I like Bucky to have a great game.
Panthers have been playing better, though.
I agree. I agree with you. Bryce Young has been showing he's got some, you know.
Chuba Hubbard.
Chuba, you can't
Chef.
knock that. Oklahoma State fire.
Can I skip? Oh, sorry. Can I skip
you're
to the
good.
night game?
Absolutely. We
Let's
got
talk
the
about
Niners and the Bills.
Let's talk about a narrative. Josh Allen engaged this week
Yeah.
to Haley Steinfeld.
I
I'm
love-
sure he was
Oh.
busy this week, if you know what I'm saying. The Bills have a ton of snow.
Anytime.
There's snow everywhere. Josh Allen might be a little weak in the knees, if you know what I'm talking about. I would look for his under, possibly. A lot of snow. He was busy this week getting engaged to a superstar, Haley Steinfeld. Shout out, Pitch Perfect 2.
Oh,
Shout.
I was going to
That's the
say
narrative.
she's an actress, and I have no idea who she was, but she is very attractive, and that's all that matters. I like with the women make knees weak.
Yes.
Take. I think that's from like the original Rocky, maybe Rocky. Yeah. There you go. No, I'm not against it, and I think you're gonna. I expect the Niners to have somewhat of a better showing on defense, but we'll see. Obviously,
In the snow, they've been terrible. Look at every time they played Green Bay late in the season in Green Bay, right? Anytime there's snow on the ground, they look bad.
Really? All right. Well, maybe it might be the Buffalo Bills' day here, and that's coming up tonight at 8:20, 6.5 point spread. All right, boys. Once again, we are here. We are ready to go for the Ravens and the Eagles. That's coming our way at 4:25, 3-point spread. We will close up shop on this one. Actually, Luke, I want to get you on here before I get out of here. But your thoughts, prediction, what do you got?
I want to see the Eagles get up early. When you're playing these good teams, don't play from behind, right? That's going to be the hardest thing. Get Lamar Jackson in a position where he's flustered, where he's pushing, where he's, very uneven, where they run one time in the second half, force him to throw.
Yep.
Eagles, get up early. That's got to be the game plan. First 10 games or first 10 plays scripted. Get up early against these good teams and make them chase you.
I would like that. I would love to start out with a nice,
First quarter, score.
little bit of a lead at the end of the first quarter. That'd be great.
100% fine. I mean, we need it. I mean, the whole year we haven't really been up in the first half, first quarter. We got to get to them early. A team like the Ravens, you can't get down early. You got to go early and often, like Chef just said.
McClay, final thoughts on the game?
Like Chef just said, you got to get up early and you got to continue. You got to pounce on him. I think I did take +3.5 or +3. Sorry, +3. AJ Brown 5.5 receptions. I like us to keep throwing the ball. Another look at was on Twitter. I know Mark took it. Jalen Hurts, longest reception. Chuck that thing downfield with AJ. I liked it. I like it.
What is the longest reception?
34,
34?
35 and a half.
AJ.
I like that.
There's been a lot of
Watch Dotson catches a 45-yarder. Mark it down.
there's been a lot of Calcaterra talk this week.
I like
He's gonna
it.
be- he was
They
gonna
are
be-
susceptible
He
to
was
the
going
tight
to be
end.
what, an EMT, EMS? Did you hear that story? where
No.
He took a test to be an EMT, something like that. He needed a 75%. He got a 74%. Didn't pass, so he came back, comes to stay with the Eagles, and now
Wow.
he's playing a very valid role in this offense. Might be a long shot for tonight. Calcaterra chopped this up after the game.
Ooh, I like that. Chef, great
Yes,
stuff.
Chef.
Once again, the Sheffield Shuffler, Nick McClay, rolling in from the Gambler Gang. Make sure you follow Chef on all things socials. All right, boys, I appreciate that. Let me get Luke in here. One final thought from the great Luke Arcani. No, we are not going to talk Juan Soto to the Phillies. Well, we can actually. No, what I want to do is actually finish with some golf conversation. There is no doubt in my mind that out of the Gambler Gang, the best golfer is Luke Arcani. Luke played with us at the Swingin' and Dingin' Open, and he dunked one from about $120 out.
160.
160? Dude, it was sick. It was pretty fun to be about. Yes, he was with my foursome as well. Nice work there.
Yeah, it was cool.
All right.
That was a nice shot. That was a nice shot.
So we got closest to Penn. No.
5 feet 6 inches.
No. You swing lefty. It doesn't count. It doesn't count. All right.
Thank you.
Damn. Nice work. You got it. I just want to say this. This is really cool. And this is one thing that the Penn Club features with the 3 bays here. You could pick basically any golf course. Like,
Yeah,
just
they got
global.
range. You can practice. There's a bunch of courses you can play. All the PGA Tour courses. They got everything. It's awesome.
You want to play the Open, you can do it. You want to play Pebble Beach, that's what we have. What we have, hole 7 here.
7.
Hole 7, closest to Penn challenge right here, right now. Now, does that mean Mike Powers just passed off Charlie?
Yes, he is now the clubhouse leader. 5 feet 6
Wow.
inches.
Clubhouse leader,
5 feet,
closest
6
to
inches.
Penn. Mike Powers right here, right now. We're going to keep this going because we had a couple of people that just rolled in. We're going to keep the closest to Penn challenge going. You get 3 shots, and you got to beat Mike Powers with his closest to Penn right here, right now. 5 feet out.
5 feet
Incredible.
6 inches.
All right, Luke Arcani,
shabby.
obviously from the Gambler Gang as well. Let's close up shop. Your official prediction is what?
Cool. I think it's going to be really close. I think it's going to be like a last drive. So, oh my gosh, Zach Charbonnet. It will never be Kenneth Walker. Sorry,
No Walker again.
Never Kenneth Walker. No, I think it's going to be really close. I think if they want to win, they have to throw the ball a lot today. I think Hurts is going to have a big day. I think it's going to be a huge day from AJ Brown. I think you get some action from Saquon in the passing game. I'm going to say Eagles 28, Ravens 24.
All right. DK did not score.
No.
So my parlay is cooked.
Seahawks stink.
Yeah, the Seahawks do stink. I had 4 out of 5. It's always the one
Wish
leg.
that counted.
It's always the one leg. Exactly.
If I missed one leg and that means it hits, I would be a rich man.
We'd all be rich.
tell you that.
We'd all be rich. Luke, great stuff. I look forward to covering all things baseball with you. Of course, Phillies and hot stove season is here.
Juan Soto Dream's not dead yet. Until he signs, it's not dead.
All right.
It's pretty dead, but until he signs, it's not dead.
It's on, you know, beep,
We got time.
beep.
We're
It's
good.
on life alert. You know, that's
Just
it.
get in the room with him.
Get in the room with them.
Just get in the room.
We got plenty of time to talk baseball, but it's all about the Eagles and the Ravens.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to everybody watching. Once again, shout out to the Penn Club for rolling out the red carpet for us here on Sunday. Buffalo Wild Wings, thank you very much with the great court police over there. No fly zone, and we're all doing it trying to raise money for the Children's Specialized Hospital in New Jersey. Shout out to Mike Powers and his team. Hit the QR code. And folks, we got it going down on Tuesday, the Podathon. It's our first one. Again, Mike Powers, great job. All the iHeartMedia on-air talent, couple special guests throughout the course of the day. It'll be featured on our website. You can still donate, get involved. It's Giving Tuesday. We're going to be doing a lot of things behind the scenes. And Michelle was here, our new digital hire, too. Great job, Michelle, across the board. All right, that will do it. Thank you very much for a quick hour getting you ready for all things birds. We got to end on one thing and one thing only. Are you ready, Penn Club? E-A-G.
Let's go! Come on.
Go Birds.
Oh.
Nice work.